what were some of your favorite memories of putting the book together?
My favorite memory was definitely going through all the artists and picking out exactly what pieces we were going to use for each individual artist. The fights and the arguments, good-naturedly of course, were just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of putting the book together was anytime we'd come across some factoid, we'd uncover something that would really link would back up some of the ideas that we had. For example, when Martin Goodman would get whacked down consistently by the FTC, we'd find one example of that and we're like, well, should we go with that? Because what if it was just a one-off, but then we'd find it again and again, and therefore it became a consistent behavior, and then we were able to really talk to that with some authority. So that's definitely some of my favorite aspects of the book. And speaking of that, and then the research and everything that's was made this book up, is I want to give a big shout out here to Michael, because without him compiling all of this Martin Goodman stuff over the last 10 years, there's no way this book would have ever come to pass. So kudos to him for doing that. But also on a personal note, I'd like to really thank him for being a part of this process. When you collaborate on a book like this, there's a lot of give and take, there's a lot of patience that you have to exhibit with the other individual. I found it fascinating and almost empathetic in a way, because we joked earlier about wanting everybody in this book wanting a 1,000-page book, and that was very similar to the experience that I went through with my first big book, The Strange and Stranger, The World of Steve Ditko, when I wanted to cram everything in there that I could possibly find. I wanted 300 plus pages for that book, and I went back and forth with Gary Groth and the late Kim Thompson, and they said, no, you have to get it down to this, you have to really distill it down to the most important stuff and the essence. It can never be everything and anything you want, but it can actually be better than that. So I want to give Michael props for staying the course on that, and really it was really fascinating to see him go through some of the same emotions and feelings that I went through when I did that particular book.
Thank you, Blake, and I also want to thank you, because you were able to take a lot of dry data that I had accumulated and put it into a certain narrative where it would flow nicely, it would make a lot of sense, it would be interesting, putting your own sort of spirit into it, and individually we would have not gotten this book. I would have had an encyclopedia of dry data that 6 people would have bought, and I think together we have something that a lot of people are going to find very interesting.
Yeah, well, we want to thank you for those who are going to be reading the book. Thank you for your patronage. We'll certainly be adding a lot more information and a lot more background data as well on our various blogs. So keep your eyes out for the book, November 2013, and we'll look forward to seeing you at conventions and hearing from you online and hearing what you felt about the secret history of Marvel Comics.